in one of the very rare circumstances that Greg Kinnear did a better job than Bob Costas interviewing the same person on Later. Timothy Leary, my God, Kinnear did it with respect, humor, and much less contention than Costas was able to interview the LSD guru. But you can see that later episodes had been relegated to simply interview compilation tapes by the time Kinnear was hosting the show in '94. But this interview with Leary is really, really good. I mean, not that the one that Costas did was not informative, but it was so contentious. This one is much lighter and funnier. Great story about Tim getting busted smoking cigarettes.
My guest tonight is one of the most controversial figures in recent American history. He holds a PhD in psychology from UC Berkeley and has been one of the most vocal advocates of legalizing drugs for the past 3 decades. In 1983, he wrote his autobiography, I should say, called Flashbacks. And my feeling is if the show doesn't go really well tonight, I'm going to try and convince him it was all just a hallucination. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Timothy Leary. Thanks for coming on.
I want to say you're a very funny guy.
Oh, thank you.
Happy to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you here. You know, I got to tell you, this was, I guess, last week. I was on my way to work, and I'm listening to the radio, and the woman comes on, and she says, well, Timothy Leary has been arrested in the great state of Texas for lighting up. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, here we go. Turns out you got arrested for lighting a cigarette in an airport.
Benson and Hedges.
Well, I was going to ask what brand it was, damn it.
And I didn't get to inhale. They wrenched it out.
Never even had a chance.
Never had a chance.
Now, were you planning on going into this Austin airport, knowing that there was no smoking ordinance, and getting arrested, or how'd this all come about?
It never occurred to me that you couldn't smoke in an Austin airport. You know, Austin's a wild town, and it's also public.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't mind if private owners don't want you smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I don't want anti-smokers in my house, right?
Right. Sure.
But public, that means that taxpayers support this airport.
Sure.
And we cigarette smokers pay more taxes than anybody else, like $7 a carton and going up. I consider that outrageous that we can't smoke in public.
Right. But you knew that you weren't, that this was the law there, and in spite of that...
I didn't know that.
Oh, you did not know that?
I was in the baggage, waiting for the slow Southwest baggage.
Go ahead and get all your plugs in now, Tim.
Yeah, right. And after 5 hours being on the plane with my girlfriend, Eileen Getty, who's a smoker,
right,
I lit up.
Yeah.
And a nice guy came up and said, you know, you should smoke outside because you get arrested if you smoke inside the airport. I said, I can't be arrested. He said, yeah. So Eileen and I walked around the airport, and I'm going to tell you, when you want to get busted, you can never find a cop.
Isn't that true? They're so hard to find when you want to be arrested.
But we had we had no intention of getting arrested.
Right.
But what am I going to do? I mean, it's a hard job, but somebody has to do it.
Right.
There are 50 million of us,
right,
you know?
Well, there was the option of not smoking in the airport.
Well, see, I don't think the government... By the way, Willie Nelson got busted the same day.
Oh, was that the thing? But he was actually, it was a little bit stronger substance, I believe.
Matter of opinion.
Oh.
But Willie said something that I totally agree with. I've said it many times. He said, we don't want the government to legalize marijuana or any drug. Who are these politicians in Washington or state capitals who can legalize an herb or legalize a natural human behavior?
Right.
Are they going to legalize masturbating with your left hand?
Mm-hmm.
Or making love with the lights on in any except the missionary position? I mean, who is the government to be legalizing what we want to do in our own
Okay. Let's not get on that topic now.
Which topic?
Let me ask you this: was it in retrospect? Was it worth the hassle? I mean, we have a little footage of this. Here you are. You're going through the airport right here, as you can see on the monitors, having a nice time,
Looking for a cop.
and this is where you finally have found the cop, and you have a few words with him and say, "Check this out, dude." And there he takes it away, and then now do you have to? Is there a penalty here you're going to have to pay, or some sort of fine? Do you have to go to prison?
No, there's a fine.
There is a fine.
Yeah, same as for marijuana.
Right.
Eileen and I are now talking. Where's Eileen, by the way?
Well, I was just going to ask.
She's the #1 criminal in this.
Oh, there she is, up there.
Eileen Getty, yeah.
I see.
She and her mother-in-law, Elizabeth Taylor, are doing more to fight AIDS research than anyone in the country.
Right.
A round of applause right
Oh,
here.
yeah, sure. So she was in the shot with you here. The two of you now have to pay, I imagine, some sort of fine.
But she smoked an entire cigarette. I didn't even inhale.
You didn't even get a puff, and you're busted, right?
Right, yeah.
I should say, though, you've had some experience with obviously being arrested in the past.
My
true?
50th.
I'm sorry?
It was my 50th arrest in 4 continents.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't know it was the 50th.
Yeah, the ceremony.
That's
yeah.
a nice
I didn't
number.
Either, how would I remember anyway, huh?
Actually, yeah, you've actually you've been served some time in prison. In fact, I read that you were right next at one point to Charles Manson's cell. Mm-hmm. Is this true?
Yep.
Now that had to be kind of an interesting experience.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's a talkative bore.
Is he?
Yeah.
Did he try and have conversations with you?
Yeah. Most people who saw the Diane Sawyer show, the truth came out. I knew this. He's a right-wing, Bible-spouting militarist. Mm-hmm. You know, think of it. He's a disgrace to the counterculture, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And another name that I read about that was kind of interesting was, as I was reading up about you, was G. Gordon Liddy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is a gentleman who obviously, I don't think you two probably share a lot of things in common, and yet in the 80s, you were going on the circuit together and speaking together.
Yep.
How did that work out? In what capacity were you working together?
You know why we did it? We had the
feel like this is a big
We had the
secret.
same agent.
Oh. I was waiting for some big revelation here. Yeah, we were saving 10% with sharing an agent. Is that true?
How could I lie in front of 50 million people, huh?
I
Yes,
don't
it's true.
believe we're being watched by 50 million people. And on that note, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Dr. Timothy Lear.
Particular kind of dream that I have rather frequently, and I'm just wondering if you do, and that is of free flight. You know how when you're in underwater in a swimming pool?
do?
How you're underwater
That's
in a swimming
wonderful.
pool?
You
No,
do?
Well, wait a minute. You're underwater in a swimming pool, okay. What I dream is being able to do that, you know, just only I'm flying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have that phenomenon?
That's called getting high.
We'll be taking LSD. I think within 15 to 20 years, everyone who wants to deepen his spiritual and psychological possibilities will be taking LSD, including the police, including senators, and we expect perhaps the next president of the United States.
There you go. Talking to an NBC broadcaster, no less. I guess in the 60s, your most famous thing you're known for is tune in, turn on, and drop, if you would, please, out. Where did that come from? Where was the first time you used that?
I believe in doing everything in teamwork, and I did that with a wonderful philosopher, Marshall McLuhan. Mm-hmm. How many of you know Marshall McLuhan? I mean, really, yeah. He used to play with words, and he said, you know, the LSD, you got, like Pepsi-Cola, 20 ounces, that's a lot to turn on, tune in. So Marshall McLuhan and I came up with that, and that's an old bumper sticker. We've got new ones now.
Mm-hmm. Give me a few of the updated 90s versions,
Oh,
if you would.
DIY, do it yourself, think for yourself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Turn on, tune on, turn on, fine tune, and boot up. Or,
There you go. For the computer age, if you will.
Yeah.
Do you still partake in drugs?
Yes, I prefer illegal drugs to legal drugs, naturally.
Of course.
There are basically two kinds of drugs, Democrat drugs and Republican drugs.
Now, what would be the difference there?
Well, in the 60s, you know, say Woodstock, wall-to-wall psychedelics, love, peace, blah, blah, like that. Can you imagine anyone in Woodstock shooting up? I mean, it just doesn't go. The minute they elected Nancy Reagan president, suddenly, I have a hard time finding marijuana,
Right.
but you can get crack. Anyway, the addictive drugs are Republican drugs. That gets the gangsters, and the prices go up. But
Well, I guess it was Nixon who referred to you as one of the most dangerous men in America.
I'm so proud of that.
What about, there are obviously some dangers. I guess there's conclusive and inconclusive studies about drugs. Permanent side effects?
Depending on what drug.
LSD?
There's no infants. By the way, every week, probably every day now in the paper, government scientists discover what they call a new villain. It was tobacco 3 weeks ago. Last week, it was hot buttered popcorn.
Yeah.
Is there one thing left?
Well, that one is dangerous, I can tell you right now. Speak from experience.
Now, I am basically a psychologist.
Yeah.
I'm called a social psychologist. That doesn't mean I party, but we take records. And don't believe anything that a government scientist says on anything. See, it's an oxymoron, a contradiction in terms. A government scientist is going to say exactly what the politicians want him to say.
Yeah, but I guess everybody, whoever does any of these studies, though, is going to have their own agenda. Correct? I mean, if it's not them, it's
No.
going to be somebody who promotes perhaps drug use, and their probably findings are going to be vastly different, but can you necessarily believe those either?
I would basically trust your friends. Think for yourself. People ask me, should I do this? Should I do that? And my answer, Socrates said it, think for yourself and question authority. And don't follow any doctor, lawyer. Late night guys are pretty good to follow. What do you think?
You're talking about an early morning guy here, unfortunately. We'll do a quick break. Right back with Timothy Leary. Dude. Welcome back. Our guest tomorrow night, Gloria Steinem. Tune in for that for more later talk. Cigarette? Just kidding with you. Come on. We got a later letter for you. Want to tune in and drop into the later letter here? Okay, this is coming to you from the previous night's guest. This is a letter from Kevin Pollak, a very funny comedian.
Yeah.
He writes you, hey, Tim, will we see you at the reunion Woodstock concert? Kevin Pollak.
Well, that's a hard call. The idea of another Woodstock is great.
Right.
On the other hand, it's going to be so commercial.
Right.
It'll be a scandal.
I get the feeling you're not going to be there.
I might. I've been told, though, they've invited me, but I've been told that the people that corporate sponsor this,
Right.
like Pepsi, Cola,
Right.
think I'm too controversial.
I can't imagine such a thing.
See, I know, but...
We're out of time. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
Very
you.
nice
Yeah,
meeting you,
good.
folks. That's going to do it for this later. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Cleveland Live Music. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Click on whatever video YouTube's telling you to watch. I don't know what it is. Depends on your algorithm. Thanks for supporting the channel. Right, pups? Nothing better than a dog's butt with the tail wagging, huh?